you to bow your heads for a moment. Heavenly Father, rumor is that you're about to blanket the earth again to pray for those who are in the cold. Heavenly Father, for the love of God I stand. In my life, my marriage, my family, and my country, He must increase, and I must decrease. Lord, your love is long-suffering and is kind. In you there is no envy or arrogant pride. Your way is always proper, never selfish, and never provoked. In you, Lord, there is no deception or evil thought. Your love never dies. Lord, for the love of marriage I stand, one man with one woman for one lifetime. Pour out your Holy Spirit tonight upon our lives, our marriages, and our children. Lord, for the love that belongs in the home I stand. Safeguard our families and our neighborhoods. Lord, for the love of community and country I stand. In brotherly love, keep steadfast our city, our Mayor Jose and our council, our county and our commonwealth, and our beloved America. Bless our work and decisions tonight. Bring harmony to reign that we would live God-pleasing lives. Give guidance and strength to our law enforcement professionals that we may have a secure community. Make alert and swift our first responders and all who would serve in fire safety, rescue, and health professions. Cleanse us from the scourge of addiction. Inspire our pastors, our educators, and our students. Safeguard our defenders and warfighters. Give integrity to all public servants. Give wisdom to your people. Let us not rejoice in those who accuse and bring iniquity, but let us rejoice with your truth. I ask this that we may follow you. For you, Lord Jesus, bear all things, believe all things, hope all things, and endure all things. Your love never fails. So it is right to love and obey, to serve and honor you. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor Thomas. Appreciate it so much.
Thank you.
Always an awesome job. Thank you so much. All right. Now, Miss Brenda, 6:03. We'll start.
Mike?
Are you here?
Are you here? No. Partially?
Yes.
Faith?
Here.
Rob?
Here.
Jennifer? Here. Brad?
Here.
Bonnie?
Here.
All right. I need a motion to approve our minutes from our 27th.
I'll
January
make a
27th.
motion.
Second. Okay. All right. Second by Rob. Miss Brenda?
Bonnie?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Faith?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes. All right. Before we do presentations, we got some good things for everybody. I want to take a couple of minutes out. This is primarily for the public. We've got a nice crowd today, especially with Troop 81. We like that. But I want to make sure it's understood, and the council knows this part, but this is for the folks in the audience and the people watching this on YouTube. It's important for everybody to understand that this council, every month, gets a review of all the revenue that we collect, every item that we spend. They get every bank account and every balance, and they get a line item of every item that we spend on our $30 million. And right now, I think it's about $20,700,000 that's available to us to finish the aquatic center. And the reason why I'm bringing it up to this group and to the public is I want to make sure that these individuals have everything they need to answer your questions. We have really another thing that we've added. Miss Brenda, she added Diligent. Diligent is another service that we have for the council. We gave each council member a laptop. At their fingertip, they can get information about Board of Adjustments, planning and zoning, ordinances, any of our city council meetings. So between the Diligent and all the financial information, and we've talked to a number of the council members here, and they all agree that in the last 2 years, they've received more information than they ever have. And the reason why I bring that up is because this word transparency comes up occasionally. I just want to make sure that everybody understands. We're going to make sure that you have all the information. And if this council or I don't have it, we're gonna get you an answer, unless it's something confidential that the city can't. But it's important for you to know that this council will always have the information to answer any of those financial questions that everybody's always wondering about. It's important for you to know that they have that information. So, and I'm very comfortable with these folks giving you those answers. So I want to make sure for everybody it's understood, they have the information that you need. Okay, so that's important in this piece.
Diligence available to the community.
What's that?
Diligence available to the community.
So anybody can sign up.
All right, so anybody can sign up for Diligent to see all of that information. So the reason why that the Diligent is an important piece for us, first of all, it's out there at their fingertips, and that's also for the public. The second piece in this is, we're very busy at City Hall. And with that being very busy at City Hall, sometimes the information that you might want, we got audits, we've got a lot of projects going, collecting our revenues, and then obviously paying our bills. We're pretty busy. So sometimes if somebody on this council or somebody wants to learn something out in the public, they can go to that website. So it's important for you to know that helps us out. And last but not least, we're going to save a few trees. We spend thousands and thousands of dollars on paper. You would believe the amount of paper we print up. I've never seen it. I guess that's government, right? So we're trying to find ways to streamline so that the public can get information, the council has information. It's just important. We wanted you to know that we're proud of having Diligent out there for them, but also for you. So it's important you guys know that. But one of the other things I want to make sure that it's clear as we get into this third year of this administration is about what we're trying to get done with roads, the sewer issues, the drainage issues, and sidewalks. Those are not the glamorous things. You know what the glamorous things are, right? The aquatic center, and the playground, all those fun things that we do. But it's important for you all to know that these things are just as important. We budgeted in the year, the fiscal year we're in, over $1 million for these projects. Jennifer and Rob and some others in Faith are working on targeting areas in our community. We just had somebody go out and actually do a sidewalk plan. 2 of the major arteries that we're going to make sure that we get is from BC to the skate park and to the library. We're also going to make sure from the downtown area that you can get to the aquatic center and to the hotels. We have got to make sure that as we plan our construction, that we add the sidewalks that are missing in there. And that's a key part for you guys to understand. I'm proud of what this council has done over the last 2 years, and I'm excited about what they're going to do the next 2 years. But it's important for you all to know that we've got a plan. They're all involved. Bonnie's working on some things at the Salt River. We talked about doing that. We've got Brad working on a strategic plan for the city. We're going to get Mike involved in some of the road transportation. We've got Faith working on it. Rob's been working on some green space and some drainage issues. So we have a council that's going to work this. You're going to see a lot of stuff working. And the reason why this stuff gets done, because we work together. What we've done in 2 years plus is more than we've done in 15 to 20 years in this city. And that's because everybody's working together. And that goes for the people that are sitting out there. That's for probably some people watching this. But it also includes this council and this lady right here too. Got to throw her in there with the team. But I want you all to know that. And so the last thing I want to tell you is our budget process. It's been seamless the last couple of years. We're going to continue to do it that way. But one of the things that was brought up that other cities do, we'll have our workshops like we always have, and we'll get with the council and make time. They're going to have 2 months that they're going to be able to look over those information. They're going to have all kinds of resources so they can look at it. But I would never challenge this council to ever question those folks and those department heads of what they need. They're going to know what they need. It's important that they see it and make sure that we spend accordingly. That's the job. But with these budgets, we're also going to have one meeting. We're going to have one of our budgets just as it's going to be open to the public. It's going to be available to the council and the department heads working. It's not an interaction with the public, but the public can at least be here while they're discussing some of these departments and what they're looking at, some of the goals, things they want to do. I think it's important for you to know that. I think sometimes we get into our day-to-day stuff, but we forget to keep bringing this up. We do all of this, so much that we're doing with millions of dollars and not raising 1 penny of taxes. That's a compliment to everybody up here. And I'm proud of this group, and I'm proud of what we're doing, what's going to happen in the next 2 years. So I get a little excited about this. I know folks know that. But I think it's important for you all to know, watch Shepherdsville. We've done a lot. We've got more to come. We've got everybody involved in some fashion getting things squared away. So I'm excited. I wanted to start with that. But I want to start real quick with Mr. Arthur Jones. Would you go up there? You got some good news for everybody listening and watching the show. Would you hit that little button and talk to us just a little bit, sir? Some news
Jeff
we got
says
last
hi.
week. Jeff says hi.
On Thursday, we were notified that we had been awarded another grant. This grant's not as large as the ones before, but it's $250,000 of good, awesome, great money for us. Yeah. So 250 grand is not gonna build the entire town square, but it is absolutely gonna help us to make that to be a window into our park, a welcoming center for visitors, tourists, anybody that's gonna come to enjoy our new downtown as it gets developed. They're gonna be able to experience that town square. And this $250,000 is gonna go a long way to be able to help with that experience and making that something to people that can not only remember, but it can plant seeds. Because that town square is gonna be somewhat of our front door for people that may not know Shepherdsville to really get to know who we are, our history behind our community, and why we exist here in our region, and all the great things that you guys have been able to make and come to fruition for the betterment of our region. So as we see tourism grow and people continue to flock to Shepherdsville because of all the amazing things that we're doing right now, this is absolutely gonna be a great way to welcome those new players to the team and to the community.
Well, I want to make sure he's kind of underscoring. Obviously, we got involved with some grants through QK4 and helped us out, but somebody had to make a presentation. So he actually went and made the presentation for that grant. One of them we didn't get, but we got this one. I think there's one more for us. But I think you need to understand that so many things are happening in a good way for Shepherdsville, and this is important to us. We're getting close to $1 million of money that we've raised in some shape or form, either grant money, just on the park plan and those type of things, all right? So it's important for people to see that, Arthur, we appreciate that this happened. I'm excited for that. I just wanted you to come up and just say, hey, and we wanted to tell you thank you for what you did, buddy.
Our grant total over the last 2 years with you in charge is over $10 million right now.
And I don't know if it's gonna do with me being in charge, but I think it's really good that it's all happened. Thank you, Arthur, so much. Thank you so much. No, it's not paid back.
You say that,
Yeah,
everyone knows that.
this is a grant that's not being paid back. This is actually money, $250,000 that was given to us as a grant with no paying it back. You wanna make sure that my the city attorney told me to say that. All right.
Free
So,
money.
Free money is good. So I wanna make sure, speaking of free money, do you wanna do this or do I get to do it?
You can do it.
All right.
It was all you.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. So our city attorney has been diligently working on one of the agreements we made with some of the development in the industrial park. But in that process of digging through all the books, she found that there were some property taxes and things that weren't paid by one of the vendors, and I'm not going to disclose them. But in that process, she was able to procure for the city $77,423 or somewhere thereof. Okay, so there's a check coming to us in 2 weeks from one of our vendors in the industrial park of money that has not been paid. And it goes to show you that one of the things we talk about, this admin group, yes, we appreciate our fire, we appreciate our police department, our wastewater treatment plant, and our public works. Admin has really added to some things to it, but obviously with what Catherine has done here, thank you so much again. So another one, we need to give a round of applause for our city attorney.
It wasn't taxes, it was this payment in lieu
assessments.
thereof,
Yeah.
so, but yes.
Yes, but, so we're excited, obviously, we like when money comes in, because we can continue to do the things we're doing, right? We like that. All right, are we ready for Miss, oh, before I forget, Troop 81 is here, and you better be taking notes. That's what I was told, you gotta be taking notes. This is your, I see, I'm watching everybody
He's not
back here.
taking notes.
They gotta take notes. I thought I missed something today, and they told me
Boy
they
in
were in
orange
here
coat
today.
is not taking notes.
Yeah, anyway, so, but we're glad to have them here, so they get to see a little bit of how government works. We're excited for that piece. All right, Miss Jennifer, come on up. All right,
It's all you.
Rob, if you guys want, if you're gonna go up together, or you gonna go by yourself, or you got,
No, he can,
you got your assistant? All right,
yes.
you guys wanna go up there and turn that video? One of the things that we've been talking about the last year and a half is what I call satellite playgrounds. I hear there's a really official name for it called pocket parks. I've always called them satellite playgrounds. And so we've been looking at the city as we do these big projects. We have neighborhoods that don't have any kind of playground. So Jennifer and I were talking last week, and she was really interested, and we have property available to us in our city. And I know that, I don't want to take too much away from Sam back there. She's actually got something she's going to present at our next meeting about all of our properties and what we can do. But this is one specific one.
No,
that-
this is the properties we own.
No, it's, but the one
Yeah.
me and you were talking about was specifically the one on Beach
Oh,
Grove
yeah.
Road.
Oh, yes, yes.
So what we're looking at is how we utilize the spaces that we have in our city to help the neighborhoods we have in making something more convenient. So Jennifer, Rob, take it over.
Okay. So I'll start. Okay, so Rob and I, on our many conversations, our phone conversations, we've talked about all the space that's within the city that, you know, it's Beach Grove, Hoot Owl, 7th Street. There's areas that we own the land that's just kind of sitting. And we always thought, well, maybe we should do something with the land. And little parks for the community would be a great idea. Okay, so, and like I said, it's using currently owned property, so there's no expense in buying anything. It's just the expense of building a swing set or a playground, you know, that kind of a thing, park benches. Go to the next one. So this is actually the property on Beach Grove right there. And we could take areas and stuff that looks like that and make it into a playground, or like I said, like a picnic area, something that can be utilized by the people instead. I mean, this you can't really do anything with but drive by it. I drove by that a million times. But that would be awesome for the families over there. And so we've got a lot of empty space over by Beach Grove, but the one that I feel like we could use to make a small park would be that one. It's next to Dawn Miles, if anybody knows where that's at. And then, and like I said, on that one, it would be perfect for a small playground, a picnic area. It would be great for parents to take their kids for play dates and that kind of a thing. Okay, this was yours. This park area back there.
Can we go back?
Yes, okay, so we're gonna, okay, so we also had,
So that one is this one, and I know that you've mentioned, Mayor, in the past that you would like eventually like a walking bridge over the river. So that's also a good spot if we want to do flood mitigation in the future. That'd be a good spot to hold some water, so that's why this is
yeah,
number
so that,
10.
yeah, we added this in.
So.
Cause
kinda
it's currently
boring,
like
but
35 acres. And so we thought it would be great to do the flood mitigation, but also have a park, walking trails, a bike trail, something like that over there. And again, that one's over by Beach Grove. It's behind the sewer plant, so. We also have this property on Hoot Owl. And we thought, it's right on the creek.
I actually drove by there the other day and took a picture. It's a really nice spot. There are residences around. We'd have to make sure that they're okay with that too, of course.
Yeah. But we thought it would be a good place for picnic tables and benches and fishing. Like, you could take your kids fishing, the people in the neighborhood over there. Cause it's right there on Floyd's Fork, so,
There's probably some history there.
yes. Like I said, and, a small playground, it's within walking distance for a lot of residents, but it's also a short drive for some others. This one, I'm gonna let you talk about this one, cause this is your real, this is a great idea. Okay, so this is the industrial park, and I'm sorry, I'm taking your time,
You're fine.
yeah.
You're good.
So, we are talking,
Oh, it's right here.
yes, this one, okay.
I'm all about roads too, so there's an opportunity here to connect Park Loop to, well, down here, there it is.
Yeah.
Park Loop to Omega Parkway to make an actual loop. You can cut through the industrial park today, but you have to go through like a maze, and this is more of a, like a,
A direct,
more like a loop. And my favorite part is maybe food trucks in this park. People could walk there, provided
People
there's
that-
sidewalks. Or drive up and meet your significant other at the park and have
Yeah.
lunch.
yes. And that's what we've got here. Clean up the old trees, create a new green space in that area. Put in gravel or asphalt lots so that the food trucks could park, because it's a great opportunity for them to get out into the community. And, people eat lunch, so it's in the industrial park. And then have picnic tables and benches for people. And then we had 7th Avenue, which we have a huge area right, right here. So we have this huge area here that we own. And that one, I got a little adventurous with this one. Because I feel like that one, we could also put a little splash pad in there, a larger playground area, cause it is a bigger area. A picnic area, trees and landscaping, because it's accessible, again, to a large population of people in that area. And then just the benefits, they're safe, they're welcoming, people can go out, get out with their kids, be more active. And it allows for more community involvement. People can have parties at the park, neighborhood events at the park. Instead of always having to go to the First Street Park, they have a little area in their own neighborhood that they can all gather at. And places to relax, enjoy lunchtime and food. And then, but we're not like, I just put this on here, like different areas around the country, they're building these small little pocket parks in their communities for their citizens. So, and that's our presentation.
Well, all right, well, thank you both.
You're
And
welcome.
the whole part about this is we obviously have our big projects that we're working on now. And Arthur and Scott will be instrumental as far as looking at some of these. Once we get to the next couple of years, we're gonna try to add these things into the neighborhoods. Because there are folks that can't get around, even though we may think that the main park is that close. Sometimes it's not as close for some of these areas, like in the Salt River area and some of the deep areas of Lakes of Dogwood. They've got a place back there. They probably need to do a little bit of work with that. But we're just trying to find ways that you can walk 5 minutes and to be at a playground. We do have a playground that's actually by Public Works. That could be a part of that, but I've been told if you move it from where it's at and then you go to the new codes, and so we're gonna be into that situation, but we do have some playground equipment that we're not gonna waste, we're gonna put maybe the one on Beach Grove Road.
Yeah, I
That may
think
be
that-
our first project, but we'll tier these. We'll look at all these projects and look over the next 2 to 4 years and start having, this isn't all gonna happen tomorrow. We just want you to know about our attitude about our community and trying to make more connectivity and having more sidewalks and having places you can walk. We want that, we've never had that. And because we haven't had it, having some initiative for them to look at some of our properties, getting with Arthur and I and Scott, we'll look at all of this. All of it's not gonna happen, some of it takes time, some of it takes money, some of it takes both. So but we are looking to have that mindset when it comes to different properties in our neighborhood, so we'll keep working on that. All right, with that said,
Some of this will help, like, so the property on Hoot Owl Camp
Mm-hmm.
Road,
Yeah.
that was purchased under FEMA, and you cannot develop on it. You can create a park, so it's gotta be right.
Oh, we can.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
You
yeah.
can't put a building, you
No, you
can't close
can't.
it off, you can't
No.
resell
you
it.
can put,
Right.
So, some of it is just
That's, I think
sitting
a
there.
lot of, we're thinking that a lot of it is
It is
FEMA
FEMA.
If
property.
it is
Love
that,
it.
that would be a great use, because you cannot
yeah, if you can put something
resell
like.
it,
And
Right.
they love
so.
it being used
Alright.
for green space.
I just wanna let
park
the
areas.
community
Yeah, no,
know that it wasn't something like, oh, we could turn around and make a profit on it.
No.
We're not,
this.
no, this
It's not a
is,
possibility for some of this
No,
property.
it's all in flood areas. That's
we're not
what-
here to make the
And you
profit.
know,
Me and him talked about it and we thought it was probably.
Jennifer and I talked about this, we could also look
Oh,
at,
Rob,
like,
turn yours off.
uh,
Thanks.
Boy Scouts, maybe sponsoring one, Amazon sponsoring one.
Right,
Hmm?
exactly.
Different areas, I mean, different groups. Boyd
Yeah.
County Women's Club, they're always trying to do stuff.
So,
you know.
so one of the things that I want you all to know, the point person for this is gonna be Sam. She's got her whole
Yes.
plan laid out for this. We let you kinda do a little bit today, cause I wanted you guys to talk about what you're thinking. But Sam is the one already, got a lot of it worked out. We're gonna work it through her, work through her folks and Public Works. We'll get there. But anyway, I'm excited for it, because I think it does create the community that we want. So I think it's a good thing. Thank you both for putting that together. I'd like to stop for a minute, and Police Chief, you got 2 special guests today, don't you not, back here? Come on, bring them up here. We got 2 fine gentlemen, part of our Shepherdsville Police Department. We're excited to have them.
And thank you for letting me jump up in the front
Absolutely.
line, because they are actually working today and they're getting ready to go back
All
out.
right, this is their break, right?
This is their break.
Okay,
This
great.
is their break.
I
Okay,
like
good.
this one.
These are our 2 newest officers, this is Timothy O'Keefe and Noah Martin. We talked a little bit about the last meeting with this, and, I wasn't gonna put them on the spot to have them introduce and do a little thing, because, they've had quite a day already. But just to let everybody in this room, and you all know, we were talking back there, this actually started for them back in 2023.
Right.
And you talk about a commitment, they've been working with us, we've been working with them, there were some things with, the Department of Criminal Justice Training, they had a big backlog, so they were actually ready to go last March. And they didn't actually get hired by us till July, and didn't go to the academy till July. And then with all the, snow days and the holidays, they closed for those weeks. They were actually up there for 26, 27 weeks. So
Wow.
now they graduated last Thursday, they're back here and they get to look forward around with somebody for 14 weeks before they can actually get out on their own, which I know they're wanting to do that. But I just want to thank you all for the opportunity of backing us that we could hire these, and just to show what a commitment it takes on their part and also ours when you're talking a year, year and a half, that we're taking a chance on them and they're actually doing the same with us. So I think it's gonna work out, and you're looking at the future of the Shepherdsville Police Department. I think
All
it
right,
looks
we're
bright,
excited.
so.
Right.
Unless y'all want to say something.
Anyway, hey, congratulations to both of you.
Welcome to Shepherdsville.
We're very proud of you guys, very proud of what you've been doing, and that we know a lot's coming away. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you, Chief. All right.
Go back to work.
All right. I think I covered all the different avenues here. All right. Old business. Ms. Catherine, the second reading of our 025001.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. I'm trying something new.
All right. Trying something
I'm
new.
supporting the paperless, so I'm trying something new. All right. So, City of Shepherdsville, Kentucky, Ordinance 025001, an ordinance amending Ordinance 018269 of the City of Shepherdsville related to requiring a fence around the dumpsters within the City of Shepherdsville, sponsored by Council Member Bonnie Enlow. Summary. Section 1 sets forth that Ordinance 018269, enacted on October 8, 2018, and codified in Section 51.03 of the Shepherdsville Code of Ordinances, is amended. Section 2 sets forth that Section 2, related to definitions, is amended to add the definition of the term dumpster as a movable waste container designed to be brought and taken away by a special collection vehicle having a size of 4 cubic yards or greater. Further sets forth that the definition of rubbish is amended to include cartons, boxes, excelsior, rubber, leather, metals, mineral, matter, tires, vehicle parts, lawn and garden equipment, dust, and other similar materials. Section 3 sets forth that Section 3, related to disposal, is amended to delete exceptions by the City Council pertaining to proper disposal. Section 4 sets forth that Section 6, related to fences, is amended to require any dumpster in the city limits of the City of Shepherdsville to be enclosed with a fence, regardless of where the dumpster is located on property, and regardless of the zoning of the real property on which the dumpster is located, and regardless of the zoning of adjoining properties. Further sets forth the following exceptions. 1, any dumpster located on the same premises for less than 30 days. 2, any dumpster used during the construction of a building, as that term is defined in the ordinance. 3, any dumpster located in an area where the construction of a fence would impair the trash company's ability to render its services for that dumpster, provided that the person or entity relying on this exception submit documentation from the trash company stating such impairment to the city clerk. Section 5 sets forth that Section 7, related to civil offense, is amended to state that the time to pay the citation or appeal the citation shall be in accordance with Sections 31.15 et al. Of the Shepherdsville Code of Ordinances. Section 6 sets forth that Section 8, related to penalties, is amended to remove the increase in penalties if the citation is contested. Section 7 sets forth that Section 9 is amended to allow up to and including July 1st, 2025 to comply with the requirements set forth in Section 6. Section 8 sets forth the severability clause. Section 9 sets forth the repeal of prior ordinances in conflict with this ordinance. Section 10 sets forth the publication requirement.
We mentioned, I want to make sure, I've noticed like when I drive around, we see so many spots of dumpsters out visible, and it would be much aesthetically nicer to the city to have them covered up. That was my original purpose of this. We brought some great comments to this. We've got things we're going to work with Republic on some designs. We got to make sure that it's very culpable to them to actually be able to dump the dumpster, right? So we got to make sure that we get with them on that. But there'll be a couple exceptions to that, which obviously Catherine has notated on what might be happening out here. But this is something that'll aesthetically make our city look nicer. So and that I'm very proud that we're getting this thing done. So thank you all for all your comments and stuff. Any last comments? Anything, Bonnie? Did you have anything there? No.
Excuse me, does this eliminate the requirement around all the dumpsters, or is it on a case-by-case basis?
You want to answer that?
What did you ask? I'm sorry.
Is it every
say that again?
dumpster or case by case?
Will this affect the fencing around all the dumpsters, or on a case-by-case basis?
It's the ones that don't have,
All the dumpsters.
Yeah, it's all of them.
All dumpsters that are, the dumpsters that are 4 cubic yards or greater
Okay.
will require a fencing unless they're temporary, i.e. less than 30 days.
All right.
Or, if they cannot, if the, you know, if we reach out and Rumpke says, Republic, sorry, thank you. Republic says we can't have a fence because we wouldn't be able to empty it, then
and that's what comes in, that's the exception, like the strip areas, those, strip businesses are behind, like where the Big Lots and all that is. They need a certain kind of design so they can get back there and actually service those accounts.
All right.
So Mike, it really, what I was getting at, just, it really, we're going to address the people that don't have fencing right now. That's our primary goal, is to get everybody up to speed. There are some that are already adhering to that, but a lot of them are not because the ordinance hasn't been that way. Okay?
Make a motion.
All right, Bonnie's got a motion on the table, second? Brad with a second. Miss Brenda?
All right, Rob,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Faith,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
All right, thank you all, council. All right, 7.2 is our second reading of ordinance 025002 relating to alarm systems and reimbursement fees.
okay, so, we did not change the title last time, and it says related to the registration of alarm systems. There is no registration now required. And in talking with the 2 sponsors, Faith and Jennifer, they feel like we need to change that title so that it doesn't talk about registration, which would then make, I think, how the statutes read about the summary requires the title and the summary, this would make it a first reading, even though the substance will stay the same. So we can move this to, new business, but this will be the first reading because we're gonna take that part out and change the title.
Okay?
So, City of Shepherdsville, Kentucky, ordinance 025002, an ordinance related to the reimbursement fees for repeated false alarm calls in the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky, sponsored by Councilmember Faith Portman, co-sponsored by Councilmember Jennifer Mendez. Summary, Section 1 sets forth the definitions, including the definition of alarm system as any mechanical or electronic device sold or installed which is designed for use for the detection of an unauthorized entry into a building, structure, or facility or enclosed area, or for alerting others of unauthorized entry or any other crime or fire emergency. Section 2 sets forth the individual responsible for determining whether an alarm is a false alarm. Further sets forth the factors to be considered when determining if an alarm is false. Further sets forth exceptions to false alarms. Section 3 sets forth that a false alarm report shall be prepared when it is determined that an alarm is a false alarm. Further sets forth the information that is to be included in a false alarm report. Further sets forth the information that is to be sent to a false alarm user. Section 4 sets forth that records of all false alarms shall be maintained for a period of not less than 180 days after the expiration of each alarm period. Further sets forth that the records shall be available for review by the police chief, fire chief, mayor, city council, and city attorney. Section 5 sets forth the reimbursement fees for a third or subsequent false alarm with an alarm period at the same location as follows. 3 to 12 false alarms, $350 for each response run. 13 or more false alarms, $500 for each response run. Section 6 sets forth a severability clause. Section 7 sets forth the repeal of prior ordinances in conflict with this ordinance. Section 8 sets forth the publication requirement.
All right, and I know, I don't know if there's any comments. Faith, did you have something? I saw you were on. No, do you have anything?
I'll just make notes.
No worries. No, you're good. You're good. I just want to make sure that, again, we just made some title changes as far as the ordinance and the summary. I know we talked to the chief back there, both of you guys. Obviously, it is a concern. You were mentioning something like 800 per year or something like two a day plus. That's obviously a concern we're running out there when we could be running to actually be in something that's really important for the community. So a lot of it, is that mechanical, chief? Just making sure we're on the same page, both of you guys. Are we seeing more mechanical issues as far as these false alarms?
They're doing their job. Some of them are going off for a reason, either low pressure on the system or
Okay.
the system got wet or a pipe break. So every single incident we have is addressed.
All right, chief.
What they're doing. A lot of ours is just weather related, which would be covered under that.
Okay.
For that, so.
Yeah. we're not making this punitive. We want to make sure that the public understands. This isn't just to just penalize people. But it's important that we make sure it's everybody's responsibility to maintain your equipment if it comes from an alarm system. It's important for people to know, okay, that if it goes off and it's a false alarm, we're not finding you right away. There's a 3-time before you get started, but we're trying to make sure we educate people, get things fixed, so that we're not making errand runs when we should be doing proper things within the community, okay? Just want to make sure everybody understands that. All right, this is our first reading. We'll have our second reading on the 24th, and then we'll vote on that. Yeah. Any other questions, anybody for this one here? We're good? All right, well, thank you. Thank you, council. All right, now going into other new business. Ms. Catherine, this is actually the PUD, and I want to make sure this is the 025003. This is actually stating that we agree with the county that we do not want to adhere to this law, all right?
City of Shepherdsville, Kentucky, ordinance 025003, an ordinance adopting text amendment 2024T-02, removing all sections related to planned unit development, residential and highway business from the zoning regulations for Bullitt County and the cities of Hillview, Lebanon Junction, Mount Washington, and Shepherdsville. Sponsored by Councilmember Brad Whitaker, co-sponsored by Councilmember Jennifer Mendez. Summary. Section 1 sets forth the zoning regulations for Bullitt County and the cities of Hillview, Lebanon Junction, Mount Washington, and Shepherdsville. For the city of Shepherdsville, Kentucky, is hereby amended to remove all text regulations related to planned unit development. Section 2 sets forth that Section 5.900, planned unit development, residential and highway business, is removed in its entirety. Section 3 sets forth that Section 5.901, site plan and development, is removed in its entirety. Section 4 sets forth that Section 5.902, procedure, is removed in its entirety. Section 5 sets forth that Section 5.903, documentation required for planned unit development application, is removed in its entirety. Section 6 sets forth that Section 5.904, permitted uses and variances, is removed in its entirety. Section 7 sets forth the severability clause. Section 8 sets forth the repeal of prior ordinances in conflict with this ordinance. Section 9 sets forth a publication requirement.
All right. Brad or Jennifer, I know you guys sponsored it. Is there anything you want to add to that? Anything, just anybody? Mike, Faith, Rob? Good? All right, again, we've discussed this. This is something we actually agree with the county that we do not want to participate in this program. So obviously our next reading, we'll be able to vote on that accordingly. Okay, Ms. Catherine, appreciate that. All right, 8.2, and this actually, I'm not sure, did you say that it's right on theirs? This is a first reading of the summary ordinance of 025004. Okay.
I think Mr. Edison is here
Oh,
on
yes.
behalf of Sanctuary at Mallard Lakes.
Come on up here. What just have you come on up here for a minute? Good to see you. I'm always seeing you on Sundays waving at you, but today we see you here. We don't,
This is a request by the current developer.
Mark, do you want to hit that button for us on the top there?
Deals with
No, just right below it, right there.
Yeah,
There you go.
thank you.
Release of a restriction that was placed on in 2004 and 2005. At that point in time, it was approximately 180 acres. You'll notice that it's been reduced by different subdivisions that's been recorded. The restriction was in a certain portion of it to have a 70-foot wide lot rather than a 60-foot wide lot. Property is all zoned R3. We're requesting that the 70-foot restriction be released. The rest of the restrictions that were placed on single-family, no apartments, and so on, would remain the same. We've had conversations with the city attorney, and we've agreed to the restrictions that would be recorded after this one restriction was lifted.
Yeah, we've had discussion about this the last time I remember, Bonnie, we were all discussing about just that this is it's an opportunity for housing, increased housing in this area.
And as you can see, this project's been going on for 20 years. It's just a way to bring it to a conclusion and get it done.
And so, Mark, I sent you an email and they kind of have it. It looks like initially 4 properties,
Right.
4 parcels were involved, but 2 of those parcels actually were not part of the 04
Right.
zoning regulations, and they don't even have the 70-foot lot
Right.
requirement. They've got the 60. So only 2 of them, of the 4 that they thought are required. Are you in agreement with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Does that make sense to council? Because I sent you guys stuff and I know it's like very convoluted. It's very convoluted. I had to do a lot of digging to like really understand, you know, because when you're looking at stuff 20 years old, the way they did stuff then is a little different. So, okay.
All right,
How many, oh, I was gonna ask, how many more houses are we talking?
You've got about 108 acres, and the house would go on a third of an acre lot. Of course, you're gonna have some property, if you look at the aerial,
easement stuff.
that is not developable. There'll be some areas that just can't be built on. So I'd say you're probably looking at least another 100, 150.
Okay. Is there other egress besides through the current, through the this is Mallory, right?
Right.
Is there any other egress, like out the
Yeah,
backside?
over on West Blue Lake.
Okay.
In fact, one of the restrictions was that the developer donate 15 feet to the right-of-way for Blue Lake so it could be expanded in the future.
Okay. Is that, like the backside, what is this road? Let me look at this road real quick. Is, Phelps Road? Is that part of it?
What's that?
Phelps Road? Phelps Road?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay. I was just worried about like extra traffic and
Sure.
seeing if there was other egress. That was my main concern.
Any other questions?
And just to clarify, Mark, when I was reading the old documents from '04, it looked like part of why they wanted the wider lots is they initially thought that there might be detached garages, and it looks like they're now all attached, so that makes up for part of that, and of course, these other lots around it have a 60, am I correct?
As Mr. Miles said at the Planning Commission, when Ms. Moore was on the council 20 years ago, her daughter or granddaughter had bought one of the properties down there, and there was a question on the driveway. So they made it wide enough that you could have a two-car driveway. The houses that are being built now all have two-car garages on a 60-foot lot with the driveways large enough to serve both of them. So that was kind of the reason that Ms. Moore was pushing for it then. It's now come to pass that it really doesn't apply.
Thank you, Mark.
Mark,
I just feel like
Mark,
sometimes
no.
knowing the history and the whole context kind of helps and it creates a new record, right? Because who's going to go back 20 years besides me and look?
Mark, we appreciate you coming up here. Thank you for being here.
Thank
All
you,
right,
Mr.
thank
Edison.
you. All right. All right, are you ready?
City of Shepherdsville, Kentucky, ordinance 025004, an ordinance amending the Bullock County City zoning order and the Bullock County City zoning map as amended, removing a zoning restriction on parcel 03600000027, consisting of 57.584 acres, more or less, located at West Bullock Road in the city of Shepherdsville, Bullock County, Kentucky, and on parcel 03600000040, consisting of 39.42 acres, more or less, located at West Bullock Road in the city of Shepherdsville, Bullock County, Kentucky, sponsored by Councilmember Brad Whitaker, co-sponsored by Councilmember Jennifer Mendez. Summary. Section 1 sets forth that the Bullock County Joint Planning Commission docket number 2004Z-37 rezoned 172.2 acres, more or less, 47.752 acres belonging to Sheila Bolas and 124.42 acres belonging to Troutman Family LLC, located on the east side of West Bullock Road, 1,500 feet, more or less, north of Saltwell Road in the city of Shepherdsville from AG and R2 to R3 with the following restrictions. 1, all lots for single-family dwellings shall be 70 foot wide at the building line. 2, there shall be no apartments constructed on the property. 3, only single-family dwellings shall be constructed on the property. And 4, a 15-foot easement along West Bullock Road shall be granted to the Kentucky Department of Transportation for drainage improvements or road widening. Section 2 sets forth that City Council enacted Ordinance 004-635, adopting the recommendations to rezone the properties with restrictions as set forth in docket number 2004Z-37. Section 3 sets forth that the Bullock County Joint Planning Commission docket number 2024Z-63 held a public hearing on January 9th, 2025, and removed the zoning restriction requiring dwellings to be 70 foot wide at the building line and allowing the lot to be 60 foot wide at the building line as permitted in the zoning regulations for properties zoned R3. sets forth the following 4 parcels as purportedly being bound by the zoning restrictions previously set forth in docket number 2004Z-37, parcel ID 036000000-27, located at West Bulick Road and consisting of 57.584 acres more or less. Parcel ID 03600000040, located at West Bulick Road and consisting of 39.42 acres more or less. Parcel ID 03600000028, located at West Bulick Road, consisting of 15.282 acres more or less, and parcel ID 03600000029A, located at Phelps Road and consisting of 15.61 acres more or less. Section 4 sets forth that the City Council held a public hearing on February 10, 2025. Section 5 sets forth the following findings of fact. 1. That parcels 036000027, 03600000028, and 03600000029A were conveyed to Sanctuary at Mallard Lake LLC in deed book page 998, page 807. 2. That parcel 03600000040 was conveyed to Sanctuary at Mallard Lake LLC in deed book page 998, page 802. 3. That parcel 03600000027, consisting of 57.584 acres more or less, is subject to the restrictions set forth in docket number 2004Z-37 and ordinance 004635, hereinafter subject property. 4. That parcel 03600000040, consisting of 39.452 acres more or less, is subject to the restrictions set forth in docket number 2004Z-37 and ordinance 004-635, hereinafter subject property. 5. That parcel 03600000029A, consisting of 15.61 acres more or less, is not subject to the restrictions set forth in docket number 20047Z-37 and ordinance 004-635, hereinafter non-subject property. 6. That parcel 03600000028, consisting of 15.282 acres more or less, is not subject to the restrictions set forth in docket number 2004Z-37 and ordinance 004-635, hereinafter non-subject property. 7. That the non-subject properties were rezoned in docket number 2017Z-18 and ordinance 2017-232 to R3, with the only restriction that there shall only be single-family type homes and no apartments. 8. That allowing all lots for single-family dwellings to be 60 foot wide at the building line on the subject properties is consistent with the zoning regulations for properties zoned R3. Section 6 sets forth that the City Council adopts the Bullitt County Joint Planning Commission's recommendations set forth in docket number 2024Z-63 to remove the zoning restriction on the subject properties, requiring the lots to be 70 foot wide at the building line, and to permit the lots to be 60 foot wide at the building line. Section 7 sets forth that all other zoning restrictions on the subject properties previously set forth in docket number 2004Z-37 shall remain in effect. Section 8 sets forth that no action is required and no action is taken by the City Council with respect to the non-subject properties. Section 9 sets forth the severability clause. Section 10 sets forth the repeal of prior ordinances in conflict with this ordinance. Section 11 sets forth the publication requirement. That was a lot of numbers.
There's a lot of numbers, and
No, that was just a lot of zeros.
a lot of zeros.
A lot of zeros.
A lot of zeros. I think we
Tom,
all
it's
know.
easier to read.
We're losing the scouts.
Lots of zeros. And what this is they're just changing, just for the scouts, they're just changing the dimensions of what your lot has to be as far as the width, from 70 to 60, so that they can build these houses and move forward. That's what it was a long time ago. Does anybody here have any questions? I know we talked a little bit about this before in our last meeting. Is there anything that you guys want to bring up now? We've got a second one coming up next meeting.
And to clarify for everybody, like, what are we doing? Like, why is this so complicated? When this rezoning initially came, it was 124 acres, and another 50 acres owned by two separate entities. Well, the 124 ended up getting sold separately, right? So they sold some to here and some to there, and that's what sort of made it a little convoluted. So, you know, when you have a lot of acreage and you sell it to different people and they want to do different stuff, you have to kind of navigate. So that's why it started out different. But I wanted to include that history so that we understood why we did what we did today. I think it's just good for record keeping. So when somebody looks back, they can follow along.
And we've seen some challenges with that, as far as some of the record keeping and what we've gone through, and she's attested to that 20 years ago. All right, thank you, Ms. Catherine. All right, so with that said, I don't know if you want to take the lead on this, but, so we'd like, Nima, you guys want to come up here? And obviously, we've sent everything to the council. This is a piece of the annexation. This is a presentation for the public so that you guys can see, and the public who's witnessing this can understand what is being done. We've given all the information to the council. It's a small parcel located on Chappies, right adjacent to the city line, right there at 65, just north of that quadrant right there.
Contiguous.
Contiguous, I'm sorry. I was gonna say that. I just realized I said that. Contiguous. So what we wanna make sure is, Nima's here to make a presentation on that, and we told him, come in here. For council, you've got a lot of the information, but we wanna make sure we answer any questions for you all to move forward on having that first reading tonight, and then having a second reading on this annexation on our next meeting.
For
So-
Boy Scouts, contiguous means touching.
Yes.
Adjacent
sorry.
means it's not touching
yeah.
but close by, but
Yeah.
contiguous means literally
A
touching.
corridor is not a good thing. No, I'm just kidding. I shouldn't say it like that. But I mean, obviously, this corridor is actually one of the ways that people actually do, using rivers and streets to be able to make something connect to a place that's not connected. Yeah, I won't get into the details of that. Nima, thank you for coming out here. You all know Nima. Nima's been here before, making some presentations for us. So, but he's making on the Jones Oil Company. So whenever you're ready, I don't know, if you want to turn that on back behind you there. A lot of the information you guys have got. You've got almost everything we've given to you. This is a presentation for the public, for anybody that is out here on this annexation piece. But we wanted you to hear everything you can hear, and then ask any questions of the of the company that's actually wanting to develop this piece of property.
And if I may, Council and Mayor, I actually chair a nonprofit to get kids in STEM, so I'd like to address the Boy Scouts as
Absolutely.
well as just
Absolutely.
learning opportunity.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
There'll be some
Thank you, Mark.
color and some diagrams, a little bit more entertaining, as well as say. Not zeros, not a lot of zeros, I promise.
Isn't it engineers that come up with those numbers?
I'm not answering that question.
I plead the fifth too if I were you.
I usually blame the landscape architects, that's what I like to do.
I just know it's not the attorneys that come up with the numbers.
No. And something like this, obviously diligent, I know that Brenda had mentioned, somebody's wanting this, I think Jennifer, was it you that wanted, she showed you where you can look at the aerial of the property? Yeah, that's the one thing about this new, the diligent itself, you can get all the information you want on anything that's going on one time, you can see it from a Google map, you can see where it's located, see how it fits the city. And, a lot of times when these things happen, it's a request of the developer to be part of the city for a couple of different reasons, but in this case, obviously, they're trying to expedite something that's taking a little longer than it should. Anyway, I'm trying to figure out what you got going on there, Nima. I'm stalling as much as I can.
Well, my USB drive is not
Technical
opening,
difficulties.
that's why.
What's that?
My USB is not working, that's why. Bear with me 1 second, sorry about that.
No worries, no worries.
There we go.
If it's not, Nima, I can tell you that from at least the standpoint of the council, they have all the information about this now, obviously for the audience.
Something with technology has to go wrong to make this right.
No, it's okay, it's okay.
So my presentation today is going to be twofold. I'm going to provide some information about the applicant themselves while also introducing the property. So we do have two representatives of Jones Oil from Pikeville, Kentucky
Yeah.
this evening.
Yeah.
So if you guys have any questions, they're more than happy to answer those.
Okay.
630 Fort Chapice. We are already zoned. We did not have to go through any rezoning for this project. This is the last piece on Chapice Road prior to going across 65 to the east side. The existing site conditions, grass, farm, pasture. There is one Louisville water booster station on the site currently, and there is currently water line improvements going on, feeding south toward Elizabethtown on the site. There is no floodplain on the site. That is all south of the property, and there is no issues as far as tearing down trees or anything landscape-wise on the site. Our development is a nice, small 9,600 square foot building. It is going to have 2 employees, both of those employees actually being here in the city of Shepherdsville already. There is going to be a septic system on the property feeding the sanitary sewer needs for the site. There is going to be around 6 to 7 parking spaces with 2 ADA compliant spaces, well to meet code. There is going to be 1 drive down ramp to feed their Sprinter vans as they make deliveries and pickups. And of this site plan that you guys see on the screen right now, I'm sorry if I'm in your way, only about half of the site is going to be developed today. This is more for a future for them, what their long-term goals and needs are looking like. As far as history for this site, as you guys can see in the imagery, since 2008, there has been no improvements until 2016 when Louisville Water Company put their booster station on the site. If you drive by the site right now, there's been some earth movement due to the installation of the water line that they're putting there. Our ask, the reason we're here this evening, the current city limits, and this is a little challenging to see, but our piece is right here, right adjacent and parallel to the remaining of the city of Shepherdsville, and we've highlighted that with a star. We are kindly requesting to include our piece, this is a blow up of it, within your city. Before I get to questions, a few items to note about Jones Oil. They're headquartered out of Pikeville, Kentucky. They've got locations in Pineville, Kentucky. They've got locations in London, some locations in Virginia. They are looking at the city of Shepherdsville as a way for them to be able to work with their markets in this region and help them continue their growth and efforts as they grow as a company. Their site as a whole is right around 5.48 acres. One thing that has helped them with their success over the last 40 years is their commitment to community and their commitment to the city, and that's why their leadership had asked us to actually pursue this opportunity to annex into the city. They love Bullitt County, they love the area, but at their request around 3 weeks ago, they had asked us to include themselves in the city. They met with the mayor. They've had letters of support from the sheriff of Pike County, Rodney Scott, Mayor James Carter of Pikeville, Mayor Andrew Scott of Coal Run. They believe they're going to be a great member to this community. They're looking forward to investing in the community and being involved with activities moving forward. So any questions?
Curious if you guys have. Again, this is a small development. There's no traffic impact on this. We're talking about Sprinter vans, talking about a 96 square foot building. Water runoff is not an issue as well, and aesthetically. The 3 things that I know this council has made a focus every time we talk about development, especially when it comes to the industrial piece, because it's obviously been something that's lacked over the few years. So it's obviously been something we've really made a standard here. Again, kind of goes, sometimes it goes coinciding with the county, and sometimes it doesn't. But we know what we want in the city, and obviously this is a small venture, but at the same time, when they came to talk to us, the idea that somebody wants to be in our city, and I take that as a compliment to the things that we're doing and our growth. Again, it's not big numbers to us, Nima, but we do appreciate that Jones Oil wants to be a part of our community, and obviously we have 2 employees that are going to be working here that are from here. That's kind of a nice little added bonus to have those folks being here. So I don't know what the council has, so this is something for you guys to ask some questions about.
Is this just gonna be for like small scale storage, distribution, that type of thing?
Very small scale, and I'll let the owners speak more on this, but they're not anticipating more than 2 employees at least for the next 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
It's gonna be very small scale.
So do they plan to extend a lot or a few more employees?
So, would you guys like to speak on that?
Come on. Come on up here, come on up, come on up. Come on
They
up,
have to-
gentlemen.
they have to
Come on up.
talk.
I can't speak on their behalf, I'll let them.
No, it's okay. Come on up.
Ideally, these are it's kind of a new business model that we're trying, with some things we've done, probably 6, 7 in the next 3 to 4, 6 or 7 employees more.
Yeah.
Still minimal impact on the traffic. Steve is from here. The reason I'm hurrying this man gets up every morning and drives to London. So, if I don't get him a roof, he's out here. He's a great employee. Carlin here is our salesman. So, we're kind of looking forward as our stepping block to the Midwest market.
Okay.
And that's kind of the reason, we go, we have two locations, one in Beckley and Yankton Lou, but we do service, if you ever go to the Port of Virginia for all the letters, we take care of all that. We do all the trolling boats, your crab boats, shrimp boats, run them down the East Coast. And we do it on a small scale. It's not great, but, we just wanted, done this, we work great with Hot Wolf, City Coal Run, and Mr. Jones would like to be part of Shepherdsville to continue that here.
Yeah.
So, if you got any,
Bonnie was gonna,
What is the height of your building gonna be?
This is not a tall, this is not like an industrial building, 40 feet. This is more probably 20 feet.
the 16-foot walls.
18, I believe, 18 plus or minus. It's single story.
And then what kind of,
Pole building?
Pardon?
Is it like a pole-style building?
It is not a pole-style building.
Pre-engineered.
It's a pre-engineered metal building.
Pardon?
It's a pre-engineered metal building.
Okay.
The building is actually set in London on the ground. We're just waiting for us.
You might have him pick it up while he's down
We
there.
will.
This is also a secure facility, so there will be fencing around
There
it
will
with a
be.
gate
Sure.
as well.
Okay. Rob, did you have something you want to add?
I think Faith had.
Did you?
No, I already asked.
We are a wholesaler for, Chevron, Citgo, Petro-Canada, oils and lubricants. So it'll be just mainly a warehouse for us.
Okay.
That's, we don't fall with our, gallons, we don't fall with any hazard ratings. But we actually went ahead and engineered this building as a self-contained building in case there's ever a spill of a 5-gallon bucket inside, you can't make it outside of our building. So we went ahead and did that with a perimeter block wall, and then run over dams through all our doors.
Well, we do appreciate you looking at Shepherdsville, we really do.
Yeah.
Especially since you already have 2 of our
I've been
residents
here-
working there.
I've been here driving around a year and a half now.
Okay.
We started on the north side. We liked it, the more we come south, the more we liked it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Good.
we really liked it here, especially when I got Mr. Jones in the car to this area.
All right, thank you.
How is the product brought in?
It will be, we run shuttle trucks, 18-wheelers. Steve, what, you think, once every 2 weeks, probably?
Probably about every
Yeah.
2 weeks.
For right now,
That
test
product brought
purposes, maybe once a month for right now. There is no plan right now for bulk coal.
So you're talking a semi-truck?
Yes,
One
yes.
I don't wanna sound negative, I know the mayor and I had talked about this a little bit, but, this had already been approved, I'm saying the building itself and everything, the function had already been approved by the county and understand you may have had some issues since then. Will those not be issues in the city, or?
The issues that we had with the county were all resolved. This was a choice by the owners to
Okay,
annex to the city.
very good.
We could have started construction 3 weeks ago. if we
So
wanted
that,
We
okay,
tend to agree with them.
Yeah.
okay.
Well, to add on to that, so you're not tapping into our sewers and you're gonna have a septic system, so what is your benefit to joining the city?
Well, just what I say, for us, Mr. Jones would just like to be part of the city. It's worked out, he enjoys working with our city of Pikeville. Our base headquarters in the city of Coal Run, I think we're the largest employer there, but, he really likes to have that. He's always really kind of leaned toward the city, and the more he thought about it, the more we talked. I think Michael or Patrick come down and met with the mayor and really liked what was going on. He went back and talked to Earl, and that's when the decision was made. If you'll have us, let it be.
I mean, Rob, I had just happened, I was back talking to Brendan, and Arthur came through. And I asked him about sewers out in that direction and everything. And obviously with the other properties that have been annexed out there, that will probably end up being warehouse. It's just part of a larger scale. And he said that there was sewer available out there. It's just a matter of, when it's developed around them.
Well, it's cost effective.
They would be
I
around,
mean,
yeah,
you can't
at
do
that
that.
point, it would be required, and then there's a couple of pieces of property that, may or may not, depends on how families feel, end up being, industrial. And so, there again, I don't know what their plans would be, I don't think they have an obligation at this point. to
This
hook on
this
to
piece
it.
of property doesn't have anything, it's limited what it can do anyway on this.
Right,
That's one reason why I didn't consider talking to them.
Right,
I wanted you all to know something. He'd mentioned the fact that they came to see us, okay? We go through it with everybody. We talk about what our developments are, how our community's being built, things that we're doing for our kids. A lot of people like that, and the fact that you guys came in here, I will tell you, when I got the call Monday of really hustling to get this together, I was shocked. I was very flattered that you wanted to be part of our city. I wasn't looking at it, we just wanted to make sure you got expedited to get your development done, but that you came to us because you liked what we said about what we're doing in our community, and we appreciate that. We took it as a compliment. We like it, and this is for the record. I want people to know that we want people to be part of Shepherdsville. Doesn't always fit. In this case, it's not as challenging as some of the other developments we do at times. But this one is not that challenging. But for most of us, we just want to tell you all as the public, we appreciate that people think about us.
And there was someone asked me about trucking, what would be, the 90% of our truck traffic would be like a F-450 stop pickup. When we go out, would it be right there?
For the start,
Yeah.
to begin with, until we build up the customer base, which is gonna take time, to grow our business up here. This is gonna be a time-consuming effort.
Yes,
I
sir.
think majority of that is 450s. I think we do have some F-750s, but, we will have, a little short, small box trailer, semi. I don't think it's 53-foot trailer that Stevie drives, but that will be coming in probably once a month.
Okay.
Good thing Chevron's here already in Louisville, so we may be able to run out pickup from there.
Logistically, we see why you want to do it. I mean, that makes sense.
Logistically, yes. We have Chevron that's in Louisville, Citgo is in Nashville. And actually, Petro Canada, or Petro Choice now, is in Nashville. So it works for us.
Okay. Any other questions, council? We good? All right.
Thank you all.
So with this said, this is the public hearing piece of this. One of the things that we wanted to do, council, is unless you had any other questions about exactly what was going on with this, we wanted to make sure that we could have a first reading for the annexation piece because of the timetable set for that. I sent you obviously some information, and I guess my first question is, could I get a sponsor to annex this piece of property into the city? I got Brad as a sponsor for this. You wanna give it a designation ordinance now, through
Yeah.
a red pen? I like that.
I love red pen.
Yeah,
I'm
I
going
like it.
paperless.
I like
I
it.
am all supporting
All about the trees. I like
Brenda
it.
and going paperless,
All
so.
So with that said, we actually have an ordinance set up today. We can do our first reading, Nina. So, unless I have any other questions from anybody here, Catherine, would you please read this ordinance 025-005?
City of Shepherdsville, Kentucky, ordinance number 025-005, an ordinance pursuant to KRS 81A.412, annexing into the city of Shepherdsville, Bullock County, Kentucky, by consent of all property owners, a parcel of real estate currently owned by Jones Oil Properties LLC, consisting of 5.485 acres more or less, located at and known as 634 Chapiz Lane, Shepherdsville, Bullock County, Kentucky, having parcel ID 047-000-00025B, as more particularly described and illustrated in and on exhibits to this ordinance, sponsored by Councilmember Brad Whitaker. Summary, Section 1 sets forth a description of the property which is the subject of this ordinance as real estate located at and known as 5.485 acres more or less of real estate located at and known as 634 Chapiz Lane, Shepherdsville, Kentucky, 40165, parcel ID 047-000-00025B, conveyed to Jones Oil Properties LLC in Bullock County, deed book 1101, page 099, hereinafter property. Section 2 incorporates by reference the exhibits that describe and illustrate the property. Section 3 sets forth that the property is contiguous to the city's boundaries and is urban in character and suitable for development for urban purposes. Section 4 sets forth that the owners of record of the property have given prior written consent and that the city enacts a single ordinance annexing the property. Section 5 sets forth that the property is annexed into the city limits of the city of Shepherdsville. Section 6 sets forth that after annexation, the property will remain subject to the same land use restrictions as applied by the Bullock County Fiscal Court prior to annexation. Section 7 sets forth the severability clause. Section 8 sets forth the repeal of prior ordinances in conflict with this ordinance. Section 9 sets forth the publication requirement.
All right. Well, thank you, Ms. Catherine. All right, so obviously our second reading of the 12th. Nina, thank you for coming out. Thank you. Thank you. And for the folks from the Jones Oil, thank you so much for coming out today. And hopefully you won't be doing that driving. Not sure what you're gonna, well, you gotta travel, but, you know, we'll see what all works out. All right, with that said, I think I lost my city clerk. All right, there is no executive, session. Planning and zoning will be updated on our 24th meeting. Jimmy will be back to see us then. I'll make sure he's out here to give us an update on what's going on. Board of Adjustments, Dwayne Price told me that we do not have anything for the city of Shepherdsville for the Board of Adjustments. Department heads, I know I started with Steve. Steve, why don't you come up here and just kind of finish up anything else you have?
They do have something.
Yeah, there's a.
There's a hearing on Thursday.
Yeah, there's a hearing on Thursday.
Oh, no, not now. I mean, to update us today.
On
There's,
what's
he
happening.
has nothing to give us today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was
there's
gonna
not,
say,
yeah,
we
no,
got
he's
things
got them
Thursday.
coming up
We
and
need
then
to
he'll
know
report
something about those, cause neither one of them actually listed a physical address
on the,
on those.
okay.
Adjustments, so I don't really know where they're at.
I'll find out for
One
you.
is next door to my house.
I was
Oh.
wondering if that was one of them.
Is that one, is that one of,
But
I have not looked at it.
I don't know where it's at.
We'll find out for you, Bonnie. I'll call Dwayne in the morning.
It would, it's actually.
Or stated.
Yeah, and there's something with that,
I
that
can
piece
do
of
it.
property,
Used to that.
We have many questions for you, Steve.
1,236. All right, are we
Questions?
good, Miss Jennifer? All right, no worries, you good? I wasn't scolding you. All right, Chief, what would you like to share with us?
We'll make it real quick. Some of the council members I spoke before the meeting, year-end summaries, the publisher didn't get it back today. It was supposed to be here Friday, so I'll have it to you all later this week, and if not, I'll just email everything to you all for a year-end summary. We've got an upcoming training starting in 2 weeks, with the, active aggressor training. It's been a few years since we've had it here, so we reached out. We're gonna be hosting that, and I think they're gonna come in and give some training to the administrative staff too, after they go through the officers. Talked to Chief Craig about later in the year, maybe putting some of our guys and their guys together to put some training for both agencies. Everything is really just, it's kind of down the road, but the way this year's going already, on the first Tuesday of August, I think it's August the 5th, I've signed our department up to participate in this National Night Out. It's kind of a community-wide, nationwide, basically community outreach for first responders. Try to just kind of like have the community come out and meet who's who's there working for them and protecting them. I've already reached out to Chief Craig, they're gonna be participating. A couple of the other agencies, the Sheriff's Department, Hillview, Mount Washington may be hosting their own, but it can be a kind of a big thing. It's for a few hours, it'll be out at the park, and obviously we want you all to be out there too, to take part as the city, city council. Yeah, I will, and it's like I said, we've signed up with them, so it's something we've already started working on. Matt Roller, some of his guys have really started running with it, so you'll be hearing more about it, but just kind of put it on your all's calendar that, we'll be hosting that and put it on this year, and that's about it, unless y'all have any questions for me.
The only thing I'm gonna add to it is, as we continue to grow as a city, we need to kind of control the growth, but we have to grow our police department and our fire department and our public works. We have a Parks Rec that we're gonna actually be expanding that as each year goes by. So, we're looking to have a police station right at the aquatic center. So somebody's gonna be manning that at all time. We're gonna be doing more patrols through the park. We're gonna shut it down, and obviously they'll still make patrols, open up gates, go through and make patrols, make sure we keep things safe. And make sure the properties, we have a lot of money invested in the city. It's important that we take care of it. And I always say this all the time, but I appreciate Chief and his staff making sure they're making a presence in the neighborhoods. I'm seeing them out there, and I'm hoping you guys see them as well. And again, if you have something you see extra time, if you just get it to them, they're willing to be out there for you. So I think this August the 5th is gonna be a good thing to meet everybody that works for the first responders.
And like I said, we'll also have all the fire departments that wanna attend, the EMS, and it should be a really good night. It'll be something everybody can be proud of and learn some from each other, so be a win-win.
Good thing. Thank you so much, Chief. You can leave that on for your counterpart there. Bob, did you have something?
No.
Sure.
No, I don't want a ticket on the way home, thank you.
Is that what his threat was? Just keep doing. Chief, how are you tonight?
I'm doing good.
All right.
How about you?
Yeah, yeah, good. Yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah, hey, Chief, just throwing this out there. I thought I knew that's what you, it's Bonnie's fault. She started it. All right, what you got for us?
Good evening, council. I just want to go over 2024 review with you real quick. We dropped it on social media. I'm sure you are way up on it. Just going through the numbers there on page 2. Fire inspections. Major Calvert did 532 total inspections, 157 re-inspections. That just means if there's a small issue, he goes back and he doubles checks and make sure it's done, and then he's happy, and then it's signed off on. We did 282 smoke detector installs throughout the community, 450 pre-plans. A pre-plan is where we, just in case a building, or be a problem at the building, it's located on all of our, we have laptops in the truck. When we're responding to that incident, that throws up and we can see the building, we can see the hazards that are inside the building and things like that. That's what a pre-plan is. And then 20 new company inspections, and what that does is Major Calvert takes all of our guys out. Any new development, any new building, any kind of large facility we might be concerned with, we're gonna take all the companies out and ride around and look at those. Staffing, on the other page there, next page. Obviously, Chief, we have 3 assistant chief, we have 3 platoons, and then a major, which is Major Calvert, 3 captains on 3 platoons, 12 sergeants, 28 firefighters, 6 part-time, 1 admin, for a total of 55. On our incident responses, we did 2,853 incidents in 2024. 798 of those incidents overlap, meaning when we're out on one incident, we had others going on at the same time. We broke those down for you. 50% were medical and 50% were fire responses, which is a pretty equal percentage across the board. Just to hype up my guys, I had 2 employees that just got, so we're all nationally registered emergency medical technicians. I had 2 graduate paramedic school. All right, so they're paramedics now. We also, we just purchased 2 monitors, 2 heart rate monitors, and we're gonna put 1 on each engine that are response to all the medical units. Those are gonna be able to do 12 leads for anybody throughout the city. We're there in 4.5 minutes is our average response time to all medical runs. So with our paramedics now, we'll be able to do a little bit more. I also signed with an attorney, Mayor Cabrero. We're gonna go for our Class 6 non-transport. What that means is I have a paramedic on an engine, and that paramedic can act as a paramedic on an engine. Right now, they're currently EMTs. So by being a Class 6 non-transport service, we'll be able to act as a paramedic on scene and with that 4.5 minutes. Anybody have questions on that? It's gonna take some time. I have to get my medics, Bullitt County has to sign them off, okay? And our Dr. Goshorn has to sign them off. He's a doctor that covers all of our licensure through the city. But we're hoping to have that online, July, I hope. It's all dependent on them. So it takes a lot. It takes about 15 shifts to be signed off as a paramedic.
So do we have our own medical director?
Yes, sir.
person? Okay,
Yeah, we have Dr. Goshorn. He's chief of ER down at UVal South.
okay. So we're developing our own protocols versus?
We're using state protocol.
State protocol.
Yes,
okay.
that's all he will let us do.
Okay.
He's very instrumental in that. If you've ever met Dr. Goshorn, this is what you're gonna have. And we broke that down for you a little bit. Station 1, 1,706, you're at Station 1, and 1,147 for our Station 2. Fire prevention numbers, some more on the next page there. We had 102 community involvement details. The largest events, as you all know, are Trunk or Treat, Kids Fest, Santa Run, Bullet Blast. You know, we feel like we've touched anywhere over around 10,000 kids when we're out there on the events. And last but not least, we did 13,000 training hours, over 13,000 training hours in 2024. I gave you some topics there, just to give you some live fire training, forcible entry, vehicle extrication, officer development. I did send 5 guys to Pensacola last week for an officer development training. Very, very good. My goal is to develop everybody internally, right? I want my next person to come from inside, make it real easy for the council or the mayor to choose, just because of, we want to make sure that we always train our replacements. Some other just special disciplines that are out there. We do everything from hazardous materials, confined space, rope rescue, water rescue, trench rescue. That's everything combined into one big lump of sum of 13,000 hours.
2853.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Wow, in a year's time. And then you had an overlap of like 1 out of every 4
Yeah, yes.
overlapping. So that was,
It just means if one's busy, one's gone.
and again, a lot of truth is think of not just the city, but think of the 65. And the two things there is obviously if you look at in this modern day age, not only you're trying to response time to take care of people, but you've got to be able to resolve that quickly because if you don't, look at the traffic. So unless it's a homicide, there's obviously some guidelines that you two would know. But I know that there's obviously more time spent on that. But we're trying to get these accidents out of the way and keep things low because we know what it does to the city, and that's the situation that we're in. On a lighter note, you want to talk about fishing behind Station 2?
Yes, sir, we'll do
Why don't you
anything.
talk about that real quick? What we'd like to do. We're
Well,
working on it.
It's a very nice area back there.
Oh, it is.
Just to go along with, listening to your presentation earlier, it just would need some knockdown, build a little bridge, and you could do a lot of fishing back there.
We talked about that.
Good.
We're gonna, so we've
We'll
been
support
talking.
anything
All
with
those
you.
little
It used to
areas
be
back
open.
there.
Yeah.
You remember that, Bonnie? It used to be open, it was a walking park at one
Yeah,
time.
that would be
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
And we're gonna try to make it the same way, make it just free access to go back there.
Yeah.
We're just trying to figure that piece out. Chief and I've been, you asked me about that last summer,
Yes, sir.
so we're gonna try to keep working this piece out, but, I wanna try maybe before we get into the summer this year, that we have something there, but me and you'll work on that. But I thought it was a great little thing.
Yep.
All this is very instrumental. I hope you guys realize that we're trying to do our very best to service everybody in the community, both in our police and fire, and I'm very proud of these two gentlemen who have really done what they've done, so thank you, Chief.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you,
And
Council.
I don't want him to know that I like you more than him. Don't tell him when you go back there. All right. I want to mention for you, Tom LaFollette's not here. Obviously, he has had a couple of health issues, but he's doing okay. I want to make sure that you all know that his team has done some great things for us. Bonnie, we filled that hole up again today. And then there's another one on the other side. So there's just, we're trying to get to these, knocking out the holes. When we do all of the shoveling, we did it
I
with the
know,
9
I
inches.
see our
It's, so we're going to try to make sure we're going to get to them, but there's obviously weather now it's going to be coming, so we're going to wait and see there. So we want to make sure you know, but Public Works has done a really outstanding job. I know we gave a lot of compliments to the 9 inches of snow. city, county, and state did a good job, really did a good job. So wastewater, I know a lot of people don't, it's out of sight, out of mind, but if you understand what they do with the manpower they do a great job with that. So Scott and his team done a great job. We got expansions coming with grant money as well. As we grow, that has to grow. So you guys need to make sure you understand that piece. And I cannot say enough about admin. If you understand, the running joke is we're gonna put a bell in here every time we ring in $1, right? That thing would just keep on ringing. Because we are doing the things from an admin side of collecting everything, making sure we're paying our bills promptly, and making sure we're getting these things in place with ordinances to clean up and make sure we are administratively where we should be. So I'm proud of everybody that works in this city. I'm proud of all the organizations we work with. Definitely proud of Troop 81. We got 5 in. I think there's 2 more coming. So I'm pretty excited about Eagle Scouts coming down the road. So we're glad to have you here. I hope everybody took notes. Even you in the orange jacket, I'm watching you. I'm watching you. I saw your hands go up. I saw it, man. I got my eyes on you back there. No, but we're glad to have you. Really, what it's important for you all know, this is community. So I'm excited with that. We got all of our department heads out of here. I want to make sure I didn't leave anybody out. I think I got everybody else here. But now, council. Mix this up a little bit. Jennifer, let you start it off today.
0, 0, 0, 0.
I saw her. She was mimicking the whole time she was talking. She was doing it with
I
herself.
know it. No, I just want to say thank you to everyone who came out tonight. Thank you to the Boy Scouts for coming out.
Really glad to have you
I hope you
out.
all enjoyed yourselves.
Yeah, we hope you really enjoyed it. Thank you, Jennifer. All right, Mr. Rob Adams.
All right, so we did mention the Board of Adjustments meeting on the 13th. There's also the comprehensive plan is in draft, and so they're having those meetings, and that's the 13th as well.
Yep, yep.
Something I also want to do, as we were looking at those properties, is revisit the Mark 12 thing. I know they're looking for properties and everything. We do have the firehouse, and I know it's downtown, but it's out of the way downtown. So I would like to possibly revisit leasing that building to them.
No, we are not going to do that at this point. They've got some other things that they looked at property-wise. We can talk about that privately.
Okay.
That's not a situation right now. We've got some other plans.
All right, well.
No, but I thank you, though. No,
We'll talk
I
about that
appreciate it.
Friday.
Yep. Yeah, no worries. But thank you, Rob. Brad, what do you got? Oh, you got something big. You got to at least throw it out today. Yeah, talk about it. I think this is going to be awesome.
All right, so just today we finalized, I've been on the mayor ever since I started. One of the big things I wanted to do.
Nicely got on me. Nicely. He wasn't mean to me when he was on me.
Yeah, no, I wasn't on him too much. But one of the big things I mentioned to him was coming up with a strategic plan for the city. This is basically where we analyze everything we do, from public safety to transportation, sewers, parks, everything, and basically do an analysis of where we are and where we want to go. I just feel like the amount of revenue that we bring in, amount of growth that we have, we need a firm roadmap for where the city wants to go. So we finalized setting up a meeting with some folks from KLC today. We'll be meeting with those in 2 weeks just to see how that process goes. And the good thing about that is it's not just a executive level type process. This is something that the mayor, the council, the department heads, rank and file employees, and the general public, we can all take a part in this. And so that's the great thing about it. We can engage everybody, get input from, everybody in the community about where we are and where we want to go, and then compile all that information, and it gives us a roadmap for the future. So, but yeah, we'll be starting that process here in about 2 weeks, and hopefully we get the ball rolling later this year.
Yeah, and I think what he's mentioned is a really critical piece. I mean, we've gone from doing nothing for about 15, 20 years to like on steroids. So I think his point's very valuable in kind of putting that structure in. We're trying to get some basic things done. We've got some major projects that are going to get done. But all these other pieces that go with it, this is what he's talking about, is making sure it fits. What's the 5 and 10 and 20-year plan? And I think it's going to be great. But we'll put a structure together. We'll do it with the council. We'll try to figure out some different ways to get them together and start talking about this. And then once we get a really decent plan, we got kind of like the comprehensive plan, we'll do something out here for the public. And you're going to be doing it all, just no pressure. At least when you're not on vacation. But I think it's great. I think it's a great value. And what it is that really, this is kind of going back to, this is a kind of a time now you see everybody you see up here, everybody's kind of owning a piece of this as we move forward. This is what's exciting about this. But Brad, I really think it's going to be a good thing. Awesome job. Miss Faith, what you got for us?
I don't have anything.
Can you believe that?
No, but we've talked a lot.
Yeah, we've talked
been
a lot
working on
this
some
week,
stuff, so we've got a
yeah.
lot of things on the table. But I really appreciate everybody's support for this, and I think the streets, the sidewalk pieces, to continue to look at that. We've got money. We've got, like I mentioned before, we have over $1 million in this budget. We still got it in there. We're gonna keep working with. And then we have $1.2 million in next year's budget. So it's gonna be exciting to be able to use that money and purposefully use it for the things that have not been done for a long time. And we know that, and that's important for you all to know that we're gonna invest money. Again, the exciting things are the big projects, but these things are just as necessary for our community to get around. So, all right, Miss Bonnie.
Okay, on the 25th, we have the small business meeting at 6. That is also,
Is it 25th or 26th? Oh, 25th, I'm sorry, it is Tuesday, yes.
and we also at the same time will be holding the parade meeting
Oh.
for the Veterans Parade.
Is it 9 o'clock? No, there's, no.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock for that one, I
So
thought,
we're gonna be holding both at the same time.
let me find out. I thought we had, hold on, let me find out.
What is that, Bonnie? I didn't-
She's talking about the small business,
Small business meeting
it's
is
at the same time as the
But
veterans
parade
of Vietnam.
meeting is also going to be here at the same, because it's gonna involve
Oh,
those
I was gonna say,
businesses that are
Yeah.
in the vicinity of the parade.
Hmm.
So that's why,
So
because I
she's-
questioned when I went to the Legion meeting, why we were at the same time, and then they explained that they wanted to be. Sorry, they wanted to be for those businesses to meet and talk about
What's gonna happen, because
what's
this is
gonna
gonna.
happen and
yeah.
if they're gonna sponsor a spot and things like that.
Block captains. We're gonna have block captains all the way from 44 to the river, where a block captain is responsible for having folks out there with their flags as the Vietnam veterans come down through. They're gonna come from the VFW down 44 east till they get to Buckman, go south, and they'll cross the river and go back after they get through. We want people to see that parade for the Vietnam veterans, okay? They deserve it more than anything else. So this is one of the things I've always been disappointed is that we've never recognized our Vietnam veterans like we should. And when we do that, when they get to the Legion itself, they're actually gonna have dinner. And we're gonna be there for them and just spend some time with them and just say, thank you.
Yeah, there'll be dinner for the veterans.
Yeah. And so it's
It'll be free to the veterans. Anybody else can purchase a meal.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm glad you're part of that. Thank you so much. Do you have anything else you wanted to do?
Yes.
All right.
Also, we all got the email that I responded to on the radios. And the police radios, because the county is making it now to where, citizens can't monitor the police radios. The man, from another area in the county wrote us an email about it. So I explained to him, so I thought I explained to here, it's not a good idea for citizens to have access to that because it causes liabilities when people get on there and then put stuff on Facebook that's not true. The recent one was a police chase, and they put out that a man had a gun and he didn't. And if the police had caught up with him and pulled arms on him and he didn't do what they said, it could have gone bad. Had the same thing happen with my wrecker service I used to have. We worked fatality wrecks. People would show up at the scene trying to see, follow my trucks back to the lot trying to take pictures. And these are just things that citizens don't need to be doing. It's safer for our responders not to have us involved in it. So just for people to understand, that's why they're doing this. It's not because they don't want you to know anything. It's because too many are trying to show up and participate, and you're not experienced and don't know what you're doing.
No, I appreciate that. And again, obviously, there's positives about social media with that, and there's negatives. And obviously, we don't want to get in the way of law enforcement doing what they need to do. So, but obviously, you just want to make sure that's why that was done. And I agree with you, Bonnie. Thank you so much. Mike Hibbert.
Best till last, huh?
I think Karen might say that.
Not up for discussion.
No, not for discussion. Oh, it's not up for discussion at all. Yes, sir.
Want to see, we had a good attendance tonight. I don't know what it's gonna look like in 2 weeks when all the scouts leave. But,
We're glad to have you here.
huh?
We're glad to have you here.
That's right. I'm glad to hear that we have more businesses coming to our community that want to be in our community. Even though it's small, sometimes a lot of small businesses end up growing. Quite large, in fact, sometimes, or they consolidate. So, as usual, it's nice to have people come to our community. The annexation, as far as I can figure, is gone properly. I mean, everything's adjacent, there's no arguments, we don't have to jump creeks and ponds and 3 miles to get to it. It's right there, so shouldn't be any, argument about that. So, but we're making progress. I think it's, some of us would like to see it faster, some a little slower, but whatever it is, we're making the progress, and, it'll play out in time, so. I'd like to thank Pastor Tom Ebert for his eloquent speech tonight,
That's
as
an awesome job.
usual. Make sure you get that, Tom. Make sure you get that. That's all I have.
Right, and I just want to make sure for everybody, if you haven't noticed, there's a little bit more construction going on. We're pretty excited about the fact that you guys see the first wall go up on the back side of the aquatic center. You will also notice that we've actually taken out the concrete there at Joby Hall and Buckman. So that piece is out now. We've just got gravel there, but we're gonna try to do some things to kind of get that moving along. We have David Strange in the audience, and he is our point person, Mr. Celebrity here. He's our point person of taking care of the old bank and restoring it and do some things. So he's getting it started. He's got a great team with him. He's got Public Works. He's got Sam. We got some good people involved. So, and I appreciate your compliments about my team, David. I think it's really great to hear that we're doing those kind of things. But you got the wall in the aquatic center. You got that work being down there. And then as they keep digging that, to put that 96-inch stormwater line in. So a lot of good things are happening. More people are seeing moving of earth and making these things happen. So for the Boy Scouts, I hope you got good notes and scouting. I figure out how to say that now. All right, but listen, thank you all for being here because I'm excited about the two. Oh, and by the way, for you guys to know, Troop 81, their 2 Eagle Scouts candidates are coming up. They actually have projects in the city. One's actually in the park for a Gaga Ball, and then Gracie's going to be doing the one with a new sign for Welcome to Shepherdsville City Park. It's going to be right on Plum. So we're working on designs now so she can get that going. And no pressure. She's got to go against Lucas Hibbert, who had a wonderful project. No pressure. No pressure. But listen, thank you all for being here. I need a motion.
Motion.
Wow. To adjourn.
Second.
No. Man, what happened to Mike Hibbert? All right. Brenda?
He is done.
You done?
He's not playing.
You're in the sandbox now?
Okay, Bonnie,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yep.
Rob,
Are we done discussing? Yes.
Faith,
Yes.
and Mike.
Yes.
Thank you all for being here. Troop 81.